FANT4STIC is the butchering of the Fantastic Four characters, franchise, and everything else in between. No introduction for this review. I want to bash this movie right now. FANT4STIC, directed by Josh Trank, is a terrible movie. People have the nerve to say that the 2005 Fantastic Four movie is bad and Rise of the Silver Surfer is bad. Don't get me wrong. Those two movies, they're not great. But unlike this piece of junk, those two movies felt like a Fantastic Four movie. Those characters felt like the Fantastic Four. This movie, I don't know who these people are. You have talented actors like Miles Teller, who I loved in Whiplash. You have Kate Mara, who's good in a couple of things. You got Michael B. Jordan, very talented actor. Jamie Bell, not a bad actor. Toby Kebbell, who was excellent as Koba from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. You have the late great Reg E. Carthy. You have all these talented actors in this movie, and you do absolutely nothing with them. This is the most depressing movie to watch. It's depressing not because of tone. It's depressing because you're doing absolutely nothing with the concept of the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards in this movie has no character. Ben Grimm in this movie has no character. Sue Storm has no character. Johnny Storm has no character. You know, this movie got a lot of controversy because they made Johnny Storm black. I was actually against it, not because they made Johnny Storm black, because I knew they were not going to do anything with it. I am not a big fan of character swapping, unless you do it for a good reason. If you're just doing it because you think you're being progressive, then you're just a fucking idiot. Create new characters. But you had the golden opportunity to have Johnny Storm have a white sister, and you could have played it as their being step siblings, but you know, Johnny's father is favoring his stepdaughter over Johnny himself because Johnny's a hothead, Johnny's reckless. Sue Storm is the exact opposite. This movie didn't even attempt to do any of that shit. It did absolutely nothing. You had a throwaway scene, and that was it. You got nothing out of this thing. And don't get me fucking started on what they did with Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom in this movie is fucking garbage. What they did with Victor, Dr. Doom, one of the best Marvel villains out there, one of my favorite Marvel villains, they did absolutely nothing with this man. They turned him into a stereotypical millennial emo douche. I wanted to go through the screen and punch him right in the balls. Why is Dr. Doom an emo douche? Is an emo douche? Tell me. Movie. How is your characterization of Dr. Doom better than the characterization of Dr. Doom in the comic books, which is much more complex, much more interesting, and kind of toes the line between being a good guy and a bad guy? This guy, don't know what the fuck he's doing. Toby Kebbell, awesome actor. I like his work. Absolutely fucking wasted as Dr. Doom. He is a perfect choice to play Doom, but this movie did not respect his talents and didn't even give him anything to work with. The script of this movie is a fucking embarrassment. We all know that the FANT4STIC has a troubled production history, and it shows. This movie is an hour and a half of setup. It takes almost an hour for the characters to get their powers. There's no middle scene. There's no middle. This movie has no middle. It has no middle where we see these characters learn to live and grow with these powers. Instead, the movie jump cuts to a year. Reed is on the run. Johnny and Ben are being used for governmental use. Sue Storm is doing something. They don't feel like a family at all. And not only that, before they even get their powers, there's no chemistry between these actors. These actors have no chemistry with one another. I don't buy Ben and Reed's relationship for a second. They don't feel like friends to me. Ben and Reed, from the original movies, they felt like friends. They had a genuine chemistry. These two, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. They have no chemistry. They barely have any scenes together. They have these scenes, and you're supposed to, like, they're friends. Like, no, I don't buy it at all. Like I said, I like Miles Teller, but there are certain scenes in this movie where the guy is pretty much like, Victor, no. I'll grab your hand. How fucking disinterested can one person be making a movie? Ask Miles Teller when he did FANT4STIC, because this guy, there are certain scenes where he just gives the most flattest of the flattest performance. You would think the guy took a fucking Valium. And don't get me started, the special effects in this movie, they're garbage. Straight out of PS3. There's no story, and I want to hark back to this. This movie has no story. Nothing. Like I said, nothing happens for an hour and a half. It's just build up and build up and build up and build up. And the disappointing payoff is they have a fight with Doctor Doom, who for some reason wants to destroy the world. Yet, when we see him before they even go to the negative planet, where the fuck it's called, he did not say he wants to destroy the world. He says that this world's already killing itself. Not once did he ever say, I want to destroy the planet. This movie's so frustrating. This movie is frustrating to talk about because it has the elements to be good. You know, this movie is also it's a fucking tonal mess. It doesn't even know what kind of tone it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be a bodily horror or an action movie. It's so this movie is just the This movie is like this review. It's an inconsistent fucking mess. It's incoherent because nothing happens. I stress that again. Nothing in this movie happens. Even when they find Victor, who was left behind when this negative planet started exploding and gave everyone their powers, Victor got left behind because he fell into this green fucking pit of goo. They find him and then he just starts killing everybody because reasons. The team gets together and they act like they've been together for forever because reasons. No one in this movie acts like any of these characters because reasons. Reed Richards abandoned the team because he was scared. He left Ben crying, begging for help, alone. Reed Richards, no matter how much trouble he's in, no matter how much stress he's under, no matter how scared he is, he would never abandon the team, let alone Ben, because that's not in his fucking character. This movie has no business being called Fantastic Four. These people don't act like a family. They don't feel like a family. They feel like complete, total strangers. And by the end of the fucking movie, this piece of crap has the audacity, the balls, to insult your intelligence by making you believe they were family the whole time because they're bantering and joking back and forth. And I'm just like, motherfucker, you did not earn this at all. For an hour and a half, you're feeding me fucking bullshit, and you have no right to start pretending now that these guys are the Fantastic Four. Alright, you know what? That's all I got to say about FANT4STIC. This movie is fucking garbage. This movie gets a 1 out of 10. Alright? It gets a 1 out of 10. It's a fucking joke. It's an embarrassment. These actors are completely underutilized. The story is non-existent. The character motivations are meaningless. The only good performance in this movie is Reg E. Carthy. And that 1 point goes to Reg E. Carthy, God rest his soul. Because at least he was good as Franklin Storm. Of course, they killed him off at the end of the movie, because why not? The team have no reason to get together. You kill off Franklin Storm, now they have a reason to fight Victor. Fucking retarded. Yes, those are my thoughts on FANT4STIC. If you like this movie, please explain to me why you like this movie. If you hate this movie, bask in the hatred with me. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.